Everybody, welcome to a new video. And I want to talk about recently a video that came out exposing fraud and deception in the retro video game market. This video is by a man named Karl Jobst. I hope I said his name right. And it really talked about a company called Wata. And Wata, they actually came out, I think it was 2018. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2018. And I remember seeing them at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. They had this big booth that was sitting kind of like in the center of everything. And I was wondering what the heck was this? And my buddy Josh had told me they were a grading company pretty much. So they grade games, and they were showing off some stuff they had there. And I think at that convention, they were buying sealed games from other vendors as well. So as you guys seen in the video, hopefully you've seen the video already, they are being called out for trying to drive up sealed game prices. And it got to the point that it was so bad that games are being allegedly sold for $1.5 million and stuff like that. It's insane. So basically in this video, I just kind of want to go over if that's kind of how that affects the gaming market pretty much. Now, I'm not a sealed collector myself. I just collect what I want usually. If I find a sealed game on the cheap, yeah, I'll pick it up. But the sealed prices can actually affect the other prices of games as well. Say, for instance, here's an example. So you get a sealed game, obviously it goes for a certain price or whatever like that. If somebody has a copy that's almost as good as that sealed copy, it will go probably slightly under what the sealed one is going for because, it looks so good. And the problem with this is that Wata is allegedly driving up these prices on purpose, to get their pockets filled. And it's kind of sad that it's happening to the retro gaming community, man, because, most of us that collect games, we like buying games on the cheap. We like building our library of games and stuff like that. We're not dropping millions of dollars for a sealed game or whatever like that, or just a mint copy of something like that. So it just seems outrageous that a lot of these prices are being pushed to a certain amount. They're basically not being pushed, I would say being manipulated. And it's just messed up that that's going on. But at the same time, I know that by them manipulating the market, it'll start to trickle down pretty much. It'll start to affect everybody else. And X, I wanted to ask you, man, what do you think about this whole situation?
Well, I'm not surprised. You and I have talked about this, I don't know how many times. I'm not surprised by any of this. Once I started seeing games go for, I think in the $30,000 to $50,000 range,
yeah,
I said, oh, prices are going to go up. We never know who these buyers are. We never know who the biddings are. Mm-hmm. So you're getting investors to invest into these things. Another reason why I was never surprised by any of this, because you have seen this throughout the past with other forms of collecting. The two that I'd like to kind of hit on is one, comic books, and two, car collecting. For any of you fans that are listening to Reggie and I right now, if you've ever heard of something called Barrett-Jackson, when you are seeing cars that are auctioned off at 1 million, 2 million, 1.5 million, 1.8 million, you really say to yourself, okay, what is that car? Okay, how many of those cars do they have? All right, what is the mileage on it? What is the engine? And so on and so on. So they have a breakdown of how you get these things, but to see the people that are actually buying those cars, you never really see them. They're not there at Barrett-Jackson. They're on a phone. It's not one person buying it. It's a bunch of investors putting it together to put up the prices of that certain type of car. So now bring it back to video games. I knew this was happening. I was watching it. Once I saw the first game go for 50,000, then you heard 100,000, right? Then you heard 500,000. And the Super Mario Brothers, I was like, oh, the people who are playing this game are on the inside. Why? Because they have to get an investor to then go buy this game to say it's at this price. Right. The same thing happens with art. And art goes at a higher rate. We're talking in the tens of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. But not being surprised by this, I was just looking at the effects of what small money people are talking about. Now, let me explain what I mean by that, Reggie. So people don't get upset when they say I'm elitist when I talk about this. One, I don't give a crap about sealed games. When I get a sealed game, I open the game because I want to play the game. I don't care about having a game graded at all whatsoever. Hey, I already have enough games on my shelf. I don't need a game in a plastic case to put on my shelf. Let alone, I wish people would do the research on how much money and how much time it takes for someone to take their Gex PS1 sealed that they picked up for $15 at their local game store, sending it to Wata, thinking that when they get it back, they're sitting on 30 grand. Like, I knew from the beginning that people were going to get hustled on this, and people are trying to have a quick buck. But what I really wanted to get at is that a group like Wata and the investors there knew what they were doing when they started this. Why? Because at that time, there was no other competition of a grading game. The whole notion of gatekeepers in a gaming community is pretty much BS. However, they created that. They created that notion of we are the gatekeepers. We can grade these games. Well, who says that you have the credentials to do this? In the video, I forget the guy's name that made that great 52-minute video. He talks about
Karl Jobst.
Karl Jobst. Yeah, Karl Jobst, you are a true legend for doing this video.
Absolute legend.
He points out something great. He says there was some game that they graded and it was a lower grade. And the second game they graded was Tomb Raider for the Sega Saturn, which had holes in it and it was scratched up. It didn't look nice, but it got a higher grade in the 9s, I think. And he's like, so who's really doing this? Who's looking at what? There's no transparency there. Because of this. Now, this is why I talk about your money, small people money, right? They have power and influence on a market that no one had. This is why they can raise the prices. You, the individual out there that is going out there from pawn shop to pawn shop, from Goodwill to other store, collecting sealed games and then buying these games and then paying Wata, people, paying Wata and taking 6 months for your graded game to come back to you, you need to understand that you do not have that money and influence that they have. So don't expect you picking up a game and it's going to be $200,000, $300,000. And this is where those people are going to get let out of this area very, very quickly. And is it sad to see those people? I'm gonna be real with everyone. Reggie, I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah,
is it sad to see people throw away their money like that? No, because it's their money at the end of the day, and they think they're the smartest ones in the world doing the investment banking when they're not. They're just paying another organization for a service. That's your graded game. I'll stop there. I got more to say, but I'll let you go.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up another thing too about them, because of the whole thing about them doing the bidding with the other company, which I forgot what they were called, unfortunately, but they were bidding up games to be a certain price, and then they would buy that game, and it was like a couple individuals, not one individual buying the game, it was a couple of them. That's the way they would drive the price up, and they always were anonymous until kind of now it was being exposed pretty much. And I'm like wow, man, I mean, that kind of bidding's been going on for a while, like what they call a shield bidding pretty much. I mean, it's been going on eBay for years, but the prices have never been this high, like for this type of stuff. You know what I mean? It's been going on for a long time, and pretty much people. What I mean by this is if someone's selling something and they wanted to go to a certain price, they would have a friend bid on it to get it a little bit higher or whatnot, and then when that other anonymous person bids on it, then they would let it go. Boom, they got the price they wanted for it. A lot of people got caught up for it because they were using the same IP address. eBay caught on to that. And then so obviously they just had somebody else with a different IP bid on it or whatever like that. So that's how a lot of people get stuff selling for a crazy amount of price, pretty much, I would say. So
this is why I'm not surprised. It was a matter of time. Someone just had to be the first to
Someone
do it.
richer with a lot more money was able to do it for a while. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to continue to do this stuff with their company. I mean, it's like the explosion is just too bad, man. That video was just
So I will say this. I think I wish you guys could see Reggie's face. Reggie laughing right now because you know where I'm going with this. Okay. The only way Wata gets shut down is if the feds get involved and they find something like money laundering, tax evasion, This isn't insider trading at all. So that's the only way you bring these people down. And then now I want you to think of this. I want you to think of this again, right? Someone else right now with investors and with money are saying this. I kid you not. Yo, Wata's about to burn down. You know what? This they just exposed the company. This company's about to fail. What we need to do is open our own Wata, and we allow people to look and be transparent and to trust us, and we're going to be the new gatekeepers to this whole thing. So this practice, which has come into our type of collecting, our type of hobby, if you will, is here to stay. It may not be just with Wata, but it is here to stay now.
Right. What do you think this means for like collectors that are like kind of like collecting now? Do you think this is gonna like affect them? You know?
So it's weird because we're in a weird time. We're in the bubble.
Very weird, yeah.
I hate that term, the bubble, right? It's gonna pop. You hear that all the time. For people that are getting into the hobby, damn, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you because you got to have a lot of money to buy some of the games that we got at super cheap. The other day, I saw Armored Core Master of Arena for the PS1, which used to be like a throwaway $5 to $10 game that I would see all the time, and now it's at $70. You know, it's affecting those people. Will these prices go down? I definitely think they will. Jason, Metal Jesus Rocks, he had a great response, and I love what he said about the PS1 era and the N64 era. There are people that are starting to say, these games are ugly, I don't want to buy these games, and they'll go down in price. Just like he was saying how someone from my generation could care less about the Atari. Jason, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry, man. I just can't do it. Can't do Atari. Can't look at that stuff, okay? Hurts my eyes. But that's the other part. Now, when you think of like collectors a little bit like us or the people that are going out to get these rare games, I think what you have to say is, I think there's going to be a separation right now, which is this. It's gamers. Will it become gamers over collectors? There's people, and yeah, you know what? I'm gonna speak honest. Again, me, I really feel now I'm more of a gamer than a collector. I enjoy playing my games.
Right.
I enjoy playing the games that I have, and I enjoy playing the games that are coming out now. I'm not buying a limited run game because I think in 15 years it's going to be worth 1.5 million if I send it to Wata or some crap like that.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just that, man, it's really tough nowadays because like, whether we like it or not, which, you know, CAG told us this a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
Whether we like it or not, man, buying a game is an investment, whether you like it or not, because there's potential that game will go up in price in the future. So, and you know, now that that's happened, now that more people are realizing that, they feel like they're sitting on like a gold mine with certain games or whatnot. Their collection's worth so much or whatever like that in the future. It'll be worth triple that or whatnot. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, I never thought about games like this until like recently, like, you know, being worth a whole bunch of money. Because obviously when we were collecting back in the day, we weren't thinking like that. We were just building a library of games that we wanted to play. We had no idea it's going to be worth a bunch of money possibly in the future. So
hold on. I would like to say this. I had no idea when I picked up for $5 a couple years ago that, what is it? What is the shooting game? Something Project Titan.
Oh, Time Crisis?
Time Crisis, Project Titan would be like worth $50.
Though Richard Miller, huh?
We were just collecting, like you said, to build a library. We were just gamers.
Yeah, just the stuff we like. So in the long run, man, I mean, like we were just talking about like if the government gets involved, what they would do or whatnot.
And if they want to do something,
yeah, pretty much. But even if that doesn't happen, I just hope more people just kind of like take note, you know, price manipulation pretty much, you know, really look at prices carefully, and it's kind of adjust if you want to pay that amount for a certain game or whatnot, because there's potential that games will go down in price maybe, or, you know, you just never know, man. Just be particular about what you buy, I would say, and what price you want to pay.
So Jason said something pretty interesting in his video where he said he went to a garage sale, he got there late, he asked for some video games, and the lady,
I remember, yeah.
And the lady was like, I heard a Mario game went for $2 million. All video games must be pricey now. And it's like, no, No, they're not. No, your Connect games aren't going to be like crazy expensive in the future, hopefully. But it's going to open up more people's eyes, which is going to make collecting harder. I think another thing too, Reggie, which will make collecting harder for people is this. During the pandemic, right? We've seen so many people trade in their collections, cash in their collections. People now are cashing in their collections. Well, this does something, right? Those collectors, I can't see them building their collection back to where it is again. Either they're completely out of the game or they're not. You know what I mean? Because like, I'll make it personal. Reggie, if you had to sell, I don't know, 90% of your collection, would you care to even go and find 90% of that all over again?
No, I'd be pretty much done. Like, I'd probably go the emulation route because, like I said, I just want those memories and certain games that I will play again. But if I got rid of like that much of my collection, I'd be like, yeah, that'd be it for me. I'd be done with it, you know. Yeah. So I'm not trying to buy all that back again, go through that hassle because to be honest with you, I never went through a hassle of buying my collection, like collecting over the years, because I was into it before everybody else was, before it became a trend. I would say it was a lot easier. It was like a lot more chill. Nowadays, you go to a Goodwill and there's like 5-10 other people there, like trying to like look at the video games like you are, like, dang.
And they're staring at you, sizing you up and everything for no reason.
You can spot each other, which is hilarious. So yeah, that would be it for me. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to kind of briefly talk about it. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about the whole situation with Wata, and everything like that. Do you think it'll possibly, the prices will kind of trickle down to like regular like games that are not sealed? If not, let us know. Anyways, guys, Radical Reggie and X, and we will see you later.
So the one thing that I wonder a lot about collectors that have these sealed games, that have these Wata graded games, if the day Wata goes out of business, is your, I don't know, 64, Mario 64 that's sealed, is that worth jack squat? Probably worth $300, like what I would see it at a game store or something like that. What is the point? Because now, if Wata goes away, really think about it. You got to crack that sucker open, right? Don't mean shit. And don't try to say, yo, I know the company went out, so now it's ultra rare because it's in this sealed case that's certified. Give me that shit. Get out of my face. I hate that. I hate it when collectors do that. Collectors will do stuff like this. I got one strand of Shigeru Miyamoto's hair graded by Wata. That's how get the fuck out of my face, dude. Like,
for the whole thing with Wata, when I saw people doing it, I thought they were just doing it to have that game in their collection. Like, they didn't plan on selling it. So I wasn't realizing a lot of people were trying to like just get them graded so they could sell them or whatever like that. I feel like there's a certain game I like in my collection, like obviously Hunting Ground. I had a sealed one. Maybe I would get it like, nah, hell no, never mind. I wouldn't do that.
No, I was gonna say I would slap the game out of your hand. I'll tell you what, I would intercept the package from the mailman just to make sure you don't do that. Just always remember, guys, that your nostalgia is always going to be capitalized by someone else or another group of people if you don't do it first. It's unfortunately has to be that way, but that's the way society is now.